All right. So yesterday we left off on 4.1. And Jacob M., can you read this one for me?
Experimentation. Besides addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, Python also supports exponentation, which is the raising of one number to the power of another. This operation is performed using two asterisks. You can chain exponentation together. In other words, you can rise a number to multiple powers, for example, 2, 3, 2.
Okay. So, sure you all remember exponents in school. 2 to the power of 5 gets you 32. All right. Oh, go ahead, answer the question. Okay, fill in the blanks to output 5 raised to the third power, and that's 5 times 3. Brian, can you read this one?
Exponentation. You can also use floats in exponentation. For example, following code will result in the square root of 9. Note the result will be a float.
Okay. So we run that and we get square root of 9 is 3, but in float form, so 3.0. Oh, darn it. Well, there you go. Output of this code is 2.0. Sandra, can you read this one?
Quotient floor division is done using 2 forward slashes, and it's used to determine the quotient of a division, the quantity produced by the division of 2 numbers. Example, the code above will output 3 because 6 goes into 23 times. You can also use floor divisions on floats. How many miles? Calculate and output the numbers of miles in 1,000 kilometers.
Okay, so with this one, with the floor division, basically just you don't have any remainders, don't have any decimal points. It's just going to give you the flat number and then leave it at that. Any questions on that? Okay. Go ahead and work on this. Okay, seems like a lot of you are done. So with this one, all we have to do is print and then 1,000 divided, so floor division 1.6. Okay. And then what's the output of this code is 2 because 4 goes into 10 2 times. Patricia, can you read this one?
Yeah. Remainder, the modulo operator is carried out with a percent symbol and is used to get the remainder of a division. For example, and then all numerical operators can also be used with floats.
Okay, so this one, 20 divided by 6 goes into it 3 times, but then there's 2 left over. So it's just giving you the remainder. So it's just giving you 2. And 1.25 divided by 0.5. 0.5 goes into it 2 times, so it equals 1, but then there's a 0.25 remainder. So this is just giving you the remainder. Any questions on that? Okay. If you ever do have questions, just unmute and let me know. All right, let's move on. So go ahead and answer the question. Okay. So what's the result of this code? It's a crazy one. Okay. So first we're doing floor division. So 5 divided by 2, it goes into it 2 times. So we've got 2 here, and then 7 divided by 2, well, it's going to get 2, 4, 6, and then have 1 remainder. So 1's left over, giving us 1. Any questions on that? Okay. And, oh wait, do we need to do this? Oh wait, we already did that. Well, for this first one, it's 13. And go ahead and answer the next one. Oh, and computers use PEMDAS too, you know, parentheses, multiplication, division, uh, addition, subtraction. So, okay. So fill in the blanks to output I love Python, print, and then with our uh, parentheses, I love Python in quotes. Okay, answer the next one. Okay, guess the output of this code. So we've got 3 to the power of 2, which is 9, because 3 times 3 is 9. And then floor division divided by 2. So goes into it till it's 8. So it goes into it 4 times with a remainder of 1, but floor division, we don't care about the remainder. So it just goes into it 4 times. All right, answer the next one. Okay, which of the following operators is used to calculate the remainder of division? And it's the percent sign. Okay, do the next one. Okay, fill in the blanks to output the quotient of dividing 100 by 42. So to get our floor division, the dash dash, and or division, whatever. Okay, do the last one. All right, is there a last one? Oh yeah, there is. Okay, drag and drop the options below to produce a code that will output 10 raised to the 5th power. So print 10 times for exponents to the 5th power. Okay. Oh, I guess we got a thing to work on now. Okay, so go ahead and work on that and raise your hand once you're done.
Yes. I had to use all my brain cells on that one.
All righty. All right, seems like a lot of you guys are done, so. All right, so. With this one, wants us to do 2 to the power of 30 times 0.01. I didn't really need to put this float there, but times 0.01. Okay. And Bill, can you read this one?
Yeah, give me just a second.
Okay. We'll come back to you. Will, can you read this one?
Yeah, I'm sure for I'll find out where you guys are at.
We're on strings.
Hey, Brandon, having problems with that last one.
Okay. Do you want to do screen share?
Okay.
You're missing a couple parentheses. So put a parentheses at the beginning of your print and then at the end, and you'll be good.
Okay.
Because everything has to be in parentheses inside the print.
Okay. I got it. All right.
Sweet. Okay.
You ready?
Yeah, hold on. Let me do screen share again. Okay. Go ahead.
If you want to use text in Python, you have to use string. A string is created by entering text between 2 single or double quotation marks. The delimiter or use for a string does not affect how having in a way.
Okay. So you can either do single, double, or actually you can also do triple quotes with Python, but I recommend at least doing double quotes because in case you have like an apostrophe S or something, then you can just add that apostrophe S and not have to worry about having to use it as an escape character, which I'll probably get into. All right, go ahead, answer the question. Okay, complete the code to output hello world. So in quotes, we've got hello world and a exclamation point. Lewis, can you read this one?
Backlash. Some characters can't be directly included in a string. For instance, double quotes can't be directly included in a double quote string. This would cause it to end prematurely. Characters like these must be escaped by placing a backslash before them. Double quotes only need to be escaped in double quote strings. And the same is true for single quote strings. So they got a backslash before the apostrophe
Yeah.
because it's a single.
Yeah, it's so that you can use like the quotation mark in a quote is what it's saying. But another way to do that, to avoid that, like let's say it is just to do triple quotes, well, triple double quotes. So
Got double quotes, right?
yeah, so if you do triple double quotes, then like you could even put like he is not an angel. His mother said, and then we can put double quotes inside our quote. He's a very naughty boy.
It won't work with just single double quotes.
No, because if you could, but you'd have to escape it, like it was just talking about. But if you want to avoid that, if you just do triple double quotes instead, then it includes your double quotes. So that's usually what I do, and I don't like escaping things. So I just do triple double quotes instead. But if you wanted to, you could do the same thing by doing.
Oh, is that because there's a double quotes inside?
Yeah. If you wanted to, you could do the same thing by adding the backslash before that, and then it gives you the same result. But any questions on that? Nope. Okay. Go ahead and work on the project and raise your hand when you're done. Okay, looks like everybody's done. So. Do share screen. So for this one, it just wants us to use the backslash to escape it and just type I'm a programmer, but escaping the apostrophe. Okay. Okay, complete the code. So just backslash to escape the apostrophe. All right. David, can you read this one?
New lines. /n represents a new line. It can be used in strings to create multi-line output. Similarly, /t represents a tab.
Okay. So this one, by adding the slash, why is this not moving? Oh, whatever. By adding the /n or \n, it brings it down to a new line. But you're not really going to be able to use that because you're going to be using HTML. So you're just going to have to put a break tag. So which of the following options results in exactly 2 lines? Hello, new line, world. Okay. And Roger, can you read this one?
New line needs will automatically add new lines will be automatically added for strings that are created using 3 quotes. This makes it easier to format long multi-line text without the need to explicitly put \n for line breaks.
All right, and go ahead and work on the project and raise your hand when you're done.
My output and the expected output are identical. And it said I did it wrong.
Okay, can you do screen share?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because it wanted you to do new line instead of it. You did it a way that works, but it's not the way they were expecting. So
Yeah.
it wants you to
It
add
gave the
back.
option.
I think it's reading the
Line
space
quotes,
in front
it
of
gave either
A.
that or add new lines.
Oh yeah, yeah. See how there's a space in front of A on line 1. Yeah,
Yeah.
delete that and now hit run.
Same.
Huh. And let me see.
Space between print and the parenthesis.
Yeah, output's the same. That's weird.
No, that wouldn't affect anything. Hit return on A, or like put before A and hit return. Try it now. No.
It's
Okay,
racist.
just do it. Just do it as the new line one.
All
Then-
right. All All right, let me stop this.
Okay. All right, it seems like a lot of you are done. So this one, just print A, B, C, D with a new line after each one. Okay. And for this one, how many lines will be output? 4. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, variables.
You skipped string operations. You skipped less than 10.
Oh, I did?
Yes.
Oh. Okay,
Thank you.
good looking out. Mark, can you read this one?
As with integers and floats, strings and Pythons can be added using a process called concatenation,
Concatenation.
which can be done on any two strings. Even if your string contains numbers, they are still added as strings rather than in integers. Adding a string to a number produces an error, as even though they might look similar, they are different, two different entities.
So if you remember with JavaScript, it was a little different. It would add them as numbers, but with Python, it just treats them as strings, as straight up text. So like with this one, you're gonna get 22 when you add 2 plus 2, because it's adding just the numbers together. All right, go ahead, answer the question. And this one, just spam and eggs, no spaces. If you wanted a space, add it in there. Okay, fill in the blanks to produce Python is awesome. Python space or plus, and then space is space plus awesome. All right. Tim, can you read this one?
The freaking crap.
I'm still one behind one.
Okay, no worries.
I got now. I thought it was awesome. I was just doing that. String operations. Strings can also be multiplied by integers. This produces a repeated version of the original string. The order of the string and the integer doesn't matter, but the string usually comes first, i.e. print. Wasn't console.log the same thing? Anyway, strings can't be multiplied by other strings. Strings also can't be multiplied by floats, even if the floats are whole numbers. String operations practice.
Okay. So with this one, it's just doing it span 3 times and doing 2 4 times. Okay. So go ahead and raise your hand once you're done with this one, with this practice thing. All right, looks like a lot of you are done. So, why is it not sharing? There we go. So with this one, it just wants us to print NI 3 times and then add an exclamation point at the end. Okay, what's the output of this code? A string 7 3 times is 777. Now the variables. All right, I think we've gone through everybody, so we'll start over. Will, can you read this one?
Variables allow you to store values by assigning it to a name, which can be used to refer to it to later values later in the program. For example, in game development, you would use the variables to store the point of a player. To assign variables, use one equal assign. User name James. In given example, we assign string James to user variable.
Okay, so just like with JavaScript, how we had to do, var and then gave it a name. With Python, variables work the same as in JavaScript, but you don't have to put var at the beginning. You just type the name of your variable and then put equals, and that's all you got to do. All right, so go ahead and answer the question. Okay, fill in the blanks to create a variable age and assign the value 42. Age equals 42. Tim, can you read this one?
Yes. Variable names. Certain restrictions apply in regard to the characters they may be used in Python variable names. The only characters that are allowed are letters, numbers, and underscores. Also, they can't start with numbers. Not following these rules results in errors. That's the way it would look. This underscore is a normal game with all those underscores. And that's the way it is. Python is a case-sensitive programming language from cap block to small block. Thus, last name and last name are 2 different variable names in Python.
Okay, so you can't start with numbers without getting an error, but you can add numbers afterwards. And this doesn't have any output, but if we then wanted to print ABC 1 2 3, then we'd get 7. So just numbers, letters, and underscores. I usually just use letters, and maybe if I'm like doing multiple of the same like variable, but like changing it a little, then I'll add a number after. But long story short, just remember, just use letters at the beginning. All right, go ahead and answer the question. Which
A
of the-
variable name cap lock with the underscores.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, cool.
All right. Lewis, can you read this one?
Working with variables, you can use variables to perform corresponding operations, just as you did with numbers and strings. As you can see, the variable stores its value throughout the program.
Okay. So instead of typing, 7 plus 3, we're just doing x plus 3. You'll use variables a lot. And the thing about variables is you can change them. So if we then did x plus equal, x plus equals 2. So it started out with x is 7, so it prints x is 7, then does x plus 3 and prints that, but we didn't assign x to equal 3. We're just saying print what x plus 3 is. Then down here we did x plus equals 2, just like with JavaScript, how we had plus equals, which is the same as doing x equals x plus 2, right? Because we're taking whatever the value is and we're reassigning it a new value of x plus 2. And yeah, it changes, it varies, that's why it's a variable. Okay, go ahead, answer the question. Okay, what's the output of this code? Spam equals eggs, print spam times 3. So since spam equals eggs, it's gonna do eggs, 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 eggs 3 times. Okay. And Mark, can you read this one?
Variables can be reassigned as many times as you want in order to change the value. In Python, variables don't have specific types, so you just assign a string to a variable and later assign an integer to the same variable. However, it is not good practice. To avoid mistakes, try to avoid overriding the same variable with different data types.
Yeah, like usually if you're making a variable a string, you're not going to want to change it to like an int or something. So it's just weird. Like, but yeah. So go ahead and work on the practice and then raise your hand when you're done. Okay, seems like most of you are done. So go ahead and pull that up. With this one, we've got variable x equals 7, and we're just doing x to the power of 3. Okay. And for this one, drag the correct answer to output 12. So 5 plus 7 equals 12. And we want it to be an integer, not a string. And also, if we had equals equals, that would be more of a question, like if y equals this, then what? Just like in yeah, that's a comparison operator, just like in JavaScript. Okay. Patricia, can you read this one?
Yeah. Taking user input. To get input from the user in Python, you can use the intuitively named input function. For example, a game can ask for the user's name and age as input and use them in the game. The input function prompts the user for input and returns what they enter as a string with the contents automatically escaped. Even if the user enters the number as input, it is processed as a string.
Okay, so you're not really going to be using this. I mean, if you decide to build, Python computer programs, then yes, you would, you could use input. But since we're doing web-based development, you're not going to use this type of input. You'll be using like a form, like a HTML form to with the input to take users' input, and then posting it to the back end, and then it could be processed in Python. Actually, we'll go over how that works. Hold on, let me pull it up on my computer. All right. So we've done all this before, but now we're to Python. So now's when you should actually be learning this. Oh, wait, I was working on something for that. Let's go to a different test one. Test 2. Here we go. So when you want to get input from a user, so you'll have to create an HTML form, and then you're going to use the post method. And again, post is when you're sending form data, as opposed to like the get page, which is where the page you land on when you initially go to a web page. Now, granted, you can send, I don't want to confuse you too much, but you can send get form data on a get page by putting it in the URL, but you don't want to do that. You want to put it, you want your form data to be sent using post, because then it's secure, it's not visible in the URL. It's just a better way to do it. So anyway, so yeah, you use the post method, and then you'll say the page you want to send it to. So in this example, we're sending it to /test2, right? And so you'll do your input tag inside the form, and there's lots of different input types. There's, you know, there's text, which is the most common. You could do email, and then they have to put an @ sign. You could do tel for telephone number. You could do number, and then they can only enter numbers. And then also on number, here, I'll show you all the different types of form inputs, actually. I think we've covered all this before, but you guys are actually going to be using it now on your resume pages, so it's important to re-go over this. So HTML form input types. So there's all these different input types, right? File, if you want them to upload a file. Number, like I said, password adds the little dots as they're typing so that they can't see the password. And also it prompts them if they want to autofill with their password. And just all these different options, right? Check boxes will give you just a little box, and then you'll check it. The select boxes give you the little bubbles to fill out. Like, let's see if it has some examples. Oh, no, radio does the little bubble. Yeah, select boxes is a drop down. Never mind. Check boxes, you know, and then you always have to put your submit button at the end. So this input type submit, you always have to put that so that they can submit it. Here, I'm gonna put this in the chat so y'all can. Oh, it's gonna make me stop screen share to put it in the chat. Okay, hold on. So you can check that out later if you want. But so anyway, so you create your input type, then the user is prompted to, well, they're not prompted to, but they have the option to input something. And then once they hit submit, it sends it to the post page where you can then process it, right? So here, let's get rid of this. And do, actually, let's do it with Python. All right, so we've got our user input. And so let's just do change to print equals user input times 3, right? So just like we were learning about, we can multiply strings through, you know, multiple times. So run this. Hold on. Oh, it's because I've got to, hold on. Heck. There we go. Have two Visual Studios open somewhere. Ah, here we go. Start. Yeah. Heck, it is. Oh, because I didn't run the turn the. Sorry, just give me 1 sec. Okay, so now type something in here. Oh, did I not? Sorry, 1 sec. Oh, I changed it to that, but I didn't put that. Oh, I didn't display it. I just put it in a variable. And there you go. It does it multiple times. So if we put whatever we want in the HTML and we do dot format. So you see we're just doing regular Python strings, but we're doing them as triple quotes so that like we can escape all the quotes and stuff and everything in there. And then we're just printing. So to print to the page with a for Python web page using Flask, if we just do self.response.write, then, well, that's Flask and web app 3, but anyway, then it's going to, print our HTML to the page and take, whatever variable we have here. So like this user input is just a variable of this information. And then we changed it to printing 3 times. And then by doing dot format is a way to insert stuff into Python strings. I don't think they cover that in Sololearn, but so just remember that if you want to edit a string, if you do dot format, you can insert variables into your string. Any questions on all that? No. Okay, so let's go ahead and have you guys try this out. And I'll cover this again too. So in order to create a new page, what you have to do is, so you create a class, right? And you name your class and add, you pass in base handler into your class, right? And then you define your get statement and you define your post and you pass self into each of those. And then any self-response.write stuff will appear to the screen. So like replace that with like print is the way it works. And then in your handler right here, you just name whatever the page. So if you go to your web page /test2, and then you're going to reference that class test2. Okay, any questions on that? Let's have you all do that, because you're going to need to do that for your login page. Now you're to the point where we're at Python. So on your resume page, you can create your login, right, to handle user information. And for now, I just want you to practice posting the user input to the screen, and we'll get to database stuff a little later. Let's just do one thing at a time. Like maybe I might do it before tomorrow, so that you guys can play with it over the Christmas break if you want to. But yeah, so that's a good place to end for today. And while you're doing that, if you have any questions, just let me know. Oh, actually, hold on. Let's finish up this module. Let's not stop like halfway through. But then we'll end on this one. Okay, so we did that, and then fill in the blanks to take user input, assign it to a variable, and output it. So input, and then text, print text. Jacob, can you read this one?
Input. The input statement needs to be followed by parent parentheses. You can provide a string input between the parentheses, producing a prompt message. For example, name equals input, enter your name, print hello. Okay. The prompt message helps to clarify what input the program is asking for.
Okay. So next one, fill in the blanks, prompt user as message and assign input to the variable name. Name equals input. What is your name? So that's what it's going to prompt them. It's going to ask them when it's giving them their little input box. And there you go. Okay, so everybody, so for the remaining time, go ahead and work. Oh, I guess I didn't specify too. So I should have said it more specifically, but any Python that you want to type goes is just all these wait, hold on. These are all Python files. All these they end in .py. So the stuff in your internship test page are Python files that are just processing HTML and they're processing CSS and everything, but they're Python files, right? Except when it references the ones that you named, like index.html or resume.html or .css, right? Those are CSS and HTML files. But when you're typing in these .py ones, these are Python files. So anything you want it from the stuff we're learning now in Python, like anything you want to do, you just do inside, you know, these lines. Or now since you want it to be able to print to the web page, right? So you're gonna have to, oh, we haven't even gotten to indents yet. Okay, indentation is super important in Python. So with Python, it has to be evenly so okay, so you've got this, right? This colon. Well, that means anything after that colon is going to be tabbed over one time or have 4 spaces, right? Because it's the same as with JavaScript. You know how we do like, let's say we're doing an if, right? We do, you know, if something equals 3, right? And then you do your curly brackets, and then you put your code in here, right? For what to do when this if statement. Well, with Python, if you just do if, let's say, user input, and we haven't got to if statements, but it's the same as JavaScript, and we'll get to it. User input equals something, and then we add a colon. See, it's tabbed over, or has 4 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Well, my thing's all screwed up with its tabs, but just trust me, that's tabbed over. So here, watch, I'll hit tab. There you go. But anyway, so then you would execute it here. So you don't have to add 1 if you're with your if statements. You don't have to put it in parentheses, right? It's just anything after if is what you're putting, right? And then anything after the colon has to be tabbed over so it knows when it ends. So like we'll say, change this thing to print, and change it to equals hello. I don't know. Once you're no longer tabbed over, that's the same as being outside of your curly bracket in JavaScript, right? It's saying, okay, we know you're no longer tabbed over. You're back even with this line of code. So we know that this if statement is done. Does that make sense to y'all? Is it not make sense to anybody? So basically tabs are very important because it's tabs replace the curly brackets that we use in JavaScript. Okay. Tabs or spaces, but use tabs because why would you want to do a bunch of spaces? But anyway. Okay. So yeah, go ahead, everybody work on doing a form, posting it to another page, and then using dot format to insert it into the HTML. And if you're having any trouble, just unmute and let me know. Okay, any questions on that?
Yes.
Okay, what's up?
I'm gonna screen share right now. I have no idea. I hadn't looked at my virtualization or whatever we're using Microsoft. This is my page. I have no idea where to go. I know you said main.py is the Python. So I open it, I have all this stuff here and I have no idea what I did last with it.
Okay. Well, let's start by creating a class test3.
Where at? In the bottom?
No. It has to be before. Just do it right after your class test2. So go ahead and
class
copy
test3.
Yeah, copy your class test2.
Okay. You get that
You need this. Yeah.
I got it now. Copy.
Okay, and then go now, yeah, paste that here. And now change that 2 to a 3.
3.
Right? And then go down to scroll down. And go down. So anytime we add something, you need to add it to your route handler, right?
Okay.
So click to the end of line 72.
End of line 72.
Yeah, and hit enter.
Enter.
And then type it just like it is above, except you're going to want to put test 3. So if you want, actually, you can just copy and paste line 72.
Line 72 for testing.
Yeah. And then, yeah, just add a 3 to the end of both of those. So what we're doing here is we're saying on the first part, the part that's a string, the part that's in quotes, we're saying for handling the route. So if somebody goes to your website and types, whatever, www.yourwebsite.com, if they add a /test3 with a lowercase t, then handle it by going to this class 3 that you just created, right? So then scroll up.
Okay.
All right, and then on this class test 3, get rid of lines 56 and 57 because we're not going to be reading any files. We're just going to be typing straight Python, right? And so then delete the index inside line on line 57 because we just deleted that. So
Okay.
delete that. But you do need your parentheses.
Okay.
And then now create a basic HTML file. So put triple quotes, right? So inside line 57, put triple quotes. Oh no, inside the parentheses.
Okay. Okay.
And then hit enter, inside the parentheses, yeah, hit enter, and then add your closing triple quotes. It has to be triple quotes on both sides. There you go. Now click before the closing triple quotes.
Before, right?
Yeah, before it. So like, yeah, there. And now create a basic HTML document because that's what it's going to do. It's going to print whatever you have in self-response.write to the screen. So yeah, create your HTML and everything.
Body seg, and what is it? Just close it out pretty much, right?
Yeah, I mean, generally you'd put a head tag in there too. Well, you need your closing body tag before your closing HTML.
What was the other thing you said?
So before you do the body, create an opening and closing head tag. So before your body tag.
Okay.
Do lowercase h for the head.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and then now inside your body tags, you're going to create an HTML form. So you'll create a form tag. So opening and closing form tag.
Okay.
And let's bring that, let's click in between your two form tags and like bring it down a couple lines. So we got, yeah, there you go. Good. And bring that down a couple too. Okay, and now inside your form tag, you're going to want to do an input tag. And inside your, input tags they don't have closing tags. Yeah, so delete the closing tag.
Okay. The whole thing?
Yeah, the input tags don't have closing tags. And then
Okay.
click inside your input tag.
Inside of where here?
Yeah, yeah, now add a space. And you're gonna want your input type to be text. So we're gonna specify, so put type
Oh,
equals, and then in quotes text. And now we have to name it. So just say name equals, and then in quotes, user input. It's gotta be one word.
one word?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, okay. Technically it doesn't, but we always name our variables the same thing. So it's just a good habit to get into, doing it like all one word, or camel case, where like the first letter of the second word and each word on is uppercase, but we're just going to use it all one word. Okay, so now we need a submit button. So now go to line 63 and do input type submit.
One word?
No, input and then space type equals, and then in quotes submit, submit.
Okay. Capital S?
No, lowercase. Okay, and then close that. And that's all you need to do for, oh wait, no, now we need to specify where we're sending it to. So click inside your opening form tag.
Inside the opening form tag. Here.
Right there, and then add a space.
Okay.
And do method equals post.
Quotes?
Post in quotes, POST.
Okay.
And then space, and then type, or sorry, action equals, and then in quotes, slash test3. And then closing quotes.
I'm closing quotes. Okay.
Okay, so now we need to create that post page. And so to do that, scroll down and then click to the end of line 69 and hit enter and hit delete, or sorry, backspace. Yeah, and then now, well, just one. So hit tab and do def. No, sorry, DEF, like for definition, space post, and then in what's it called, in quote, not quotation, in parentheses, put self. No, just self.
It's hard to roll.
And then click out, and then click outside the parentheses and add a colon.
This one?
No, that's a semicolon, just a regular colon. Yeah, there you go. Now hit enter.
Enter.
And so the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to create a variable that gets that form data that's being sent to this page. And to do that, so first let's just type, well, no, you don't need a var. You don't type var in Python, just in JavaScript. So to create a variable in Python, you literally just type the name. So let's type user input. Oh, sorry, one word.
Okay. Oops.
And then equals, and self dot request, because we're doing a post request, dot get, and then in no more dot, a parentheses, well, the
okay.
opening one, yeah. And then in quotes, type user input because we name, well, it's gotta be in quotes.
Right. One word?
Yeah. And what that is here, scroll up a little. See how we named that form field user input? That's what we're getting right there. We're getting that input tag, whatever the user typed in it. So we're getting the value of that input tag. Okay, so scroll down. And so now go to click to the end of line 71 and hit enter.
End of line, so hit enter.
Yeah. And now do self.response.write.
WRITE.
Uh-huh. And then
Okay.
in parentheses, and then put triple quotes. And then enter a couple times. And then closing triple quotes. Okay. So now you might as well just copy your HTML that you did before so you don't have to retype it. So yeah, just copy all that. Well, all the way to the bottom, like all the way to the closing HTML.
Okay, yeah. Good.
And then
71, right? Or 72?
yeah, but you copied the closing triple quotes, so delete that off, delete line 76.
I see it right here, right?
Yeah,
Right there?
yeah, that'll work too. Yeah, copy. And then paste that
72.
on line 73, yeah.
Okay.
And then go ahead, so then click to the line, the end of the triple quotes, but inside the parentheses on line 87 and put
Yeah.
dot format. Oh, well, we gotta be, yeah, right there.
Right here?
Yeah, there, and do period, type period, and then do format. And then put parentheses.
Again, open close parentheses.
Yeah, and just type user input because we're taking that variable user input that we created and equals user input.
Equals user input equals user input.
Yeah, user input equals user input.
Okay.
So what we're doing is we're saying anywhere inside here where we type user input in squiggly brackets, it equals that variable user input. So now click to the end of line 75 and then hit enter.
End of line 75, hit enter.
Or the you
No, you didn't that way?
and yeah, you weren't at the end yet. Yeah, one there you go. Now hit enter. And now
Is
do,
this still being recorded?
yeah.
Okay, I have to go to work.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. See you later, David.
Good day.
All right, have a good one, y'all.
You too. So then add a squiggly brackets or curly brackets.
Yeah.
And inside that curly brackets, type user input. And so now hit save.
Control S, right?
Yeah. Okay, and now run the stuff for your server. So like your set, Flask app main, blah, blah, blah.
I gotta get that on my Microsoft thing, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, running local server. I saw it right. Oh, that's
Saw
fine.
it?
Yeah, but it's fine. You can click it from there too.
Introducing. So you see it running local server. It was a recent file. Good. All right.
Yeah, and then so copy the set Flask app stuff all the way to Flask run. Yeah. And no, just the first three because the other one's for Mac.
Okay. Paste that right here, right?
Yeah. Give it a sec to run. Okay, now hover over the 127 and hold control and then click it. Okay, and then add at the end of the after 5,000, add slash test 3. And hit enter. And now type something and hit submit, and there you go. So you're taking whatever the user input and printing it to the screen on this new post page. But if you
Wow.
wanted, so now click back to your thing. So so click to the end of line 71 and hit enter.
Okay.
And yeah, hit enter and do user input times equals.
The equals times?
No, times equals, so the star equals
Okay.
3.
Okay.
And now save it.
Okay. Control S.
And now run
For
that.
that page. I freaking zipped it, man. I don't even know where it went.
Oh, well, you can click on the, you can click, you
It'll
can,
open up.
or just go to the internet and type 127 and it'll pop up.
There it is.
Oh wait, there you go. It's right here. Okay, so now
Alright.
type something. Yeah, that works. And seeing it just did it 3 times, right? Because any Python stuff you put is gonna apply. That's where you can put your Python stuff. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
All right. So you accomplished what I asked everybody to accomplish for today. So
Thank you.
you're good to go.
All right.
Anybody else struggling with this? Need help with this? Something not working for anybody? Anything?
Just walking through it would be nice.
Okay. Can you do screen share?
Yeah.
I got lost halfway through. We'll see later when I try to watch the rest of the video.
Sounds good. And if not, you can ask me tomorrow, or even like during the Christmas break, you can call me or whatever, or text me. I'll help. I'm happy to help, even though like we're off. Okay. Okay. So, well, first you've got on line 64, 164, you've got forms. It's just got to be form. No, just delete the S. Yeah. And everything else looks good there, except delete lines 156 and wait. Did you never mind, this is just your test 2, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, delete line 155 and 156.
155, 156.
Yeah, because that's right. That's how you open a file and then read the file. And we're not wanting to do that. We're wanting to just type directly. Click to the end of line 167 and or the beginning. So bring that parentheses to right after the closing triple quotes. There you go. Okay, so now create your post page. So click to the end of line 166. So after your thing, yeah, and hit enter, and then hit delete or backspace, and one more backspace because we need it even with that other def. So now type def space post. And then in put the parentheses right after post though. And then in post type self, because we're passing self to inside that. And then do your well, just a regular colon, yeah, then hit enter. Okay, now type self, well, hold on, hit tab because it doesn't look right. It's not even with the other one. Yeah, there you go. Now, well, actually, first let's create the variable to get that. So just type user input equals self dot request, because it's a post request. Always remember that. Dot get, because it's different than the self response dot write, because we're not responding by printing text, we're requesting the post request. And then in parentheses, we'll put parentheses, but right after the get, no spaces. And then in quotes, type user input. It's got to be in quotes though. Okay, and now copy lines 155 through 166.
It's right here.
No, through 166. Yeah, right there. So copy that. And then click to the end of line 169. And hit enter and then delete all the way over. No, don't do that because it's you copied the tabs too. So delete all the way over. Yeah, keep going, keep backspace until you get there. You go.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
Yeah, now paste it. There you go. And now at the end of line or after the triple quotes, but inside the parentheses on line 181, click and put dot format. You can just click format, it's popping up there. And then put your parentheses. And type user input equals user input and then put a comma. And then, so now in your body, so click to the end of line 173 and hit enter. Now put your curly brackets and type user input. One word. Okay, now save that and go to your web page and go to /test2. And then type something. Hold on, let's go back to your thing and see what's going on. User input. Something's probably spelled differently somewhere. Hold on. Scroll up a little. Oh, name. You don't have your equals on line 160. Name equals user input. Okay, save that and let's try it again. Or just yeah, type click to your end of your click to the end of where it says test 2 127 5000 test 2, hit enter now so we get a fresh page. There you go. Now type hi and enter. There you go.
Got it.
All right, anybody else having trouble?
And now from here, I can start putting in like the text or the email on the other one.
Like whatever type of forms you want. And like you can start creating your login page, right? And you can so like you could create a create account page, right, where they enter their name, phone number, address, whatever information you want to create, right, all on different user inputs. So you collect that information to then create an account for them. And then once that's done, then you'll save that information to the database, and we'll cover that tomorrow. And then you'll what's it called? You'll be able to all right, save it to the database, and then then retrieve it from the database when they want to log in, and like so they'll create a username and password, right? But usually you just make the username their email address, right? Since it's unique. And then they'll be able to log in and view their current profile information, and then edit it. We'll cover, doing all that, and then editing it, resubmitting the changes to the database and stuff. So yeah, but yeah, you can get started on the form for now, and just maybe for now, just have it print the information they type so you can see it comes out right. And then tomorrow we'll cover database
Just
stuff.
something real simple, name and phone number or something like that.
Yeah, name, phone number, email, and maybe like a text area box for so go to the internet, like a Google page or something, and type HTML text area. I think we covered this when we did HTML, but that was a while ago. Text area, yeah. So click that. So this is a text area tag. It's similar to the input tag, except what it does is it allows for like a bigger draggable space, right? In fact, I'll just show you. Click in your Visual Studio and click to the end of line. Actually, let's do it on your post section. Scroll down. Click to the end of line 176 and hit enter. And instead of creating an input tab, put a text area tag, and that requires an opening and closing.
One word?
Mm-hmm. And then click in line 177. Yeah, in the opening, inside the opening tag. We've got to give it a name. So add space and no, add a space, and then type name equals, we'll just call it comment. Right, and then you would get that you would get that variable the same way you did you got your user input, except and you've got to put quotes around comment. Except instead of getting user input, you would get comment, right? And if you want to start some starting text, like in between your text area tags, if you type like comment or something, or comment here. And that's going to appear as their like starting text, right? So save that and go to your web page and just type something and hit submit. All right, now you've got your text area, and see how you can drag that to make it bigger. Click the bottom left thing. You can drag that to make it bigger. So, and it's got that starting text that you put there. I generally don't put anything there because that's actual text. Like clicking it and it like that comment here will appear in the comment unless they delete it. So like delete it out of there. See, unless they do that. So I generally don't put stuff in there, but it's possible. Well, you didn't create a variable or whatever. So
Yeah, but I mean, that would send it, like, if we did it for this, like, just
Right.
how we do this one,
yeah.
but, well, that one's not working anymore, but.
No, it is. It is. You submitted it without having any text in there. So type
Oh,
something.
okay.
Yeah, so like type in there, hit submit, type something in there again. And hit submit. Did you hit submit?
Oh, no, I pushed enter. Oops.
Well, maybe actually it isn't working. Hold on. Let's oh yeah, you don't have your equals there either. Go to your code and yeah, add the equals after name on line 176.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go. Okay. All
And
right.
because of that, it pretty much nulled it after the second input.
Yeah. Because because it's like, well, what username? No form was submitted with a name username. So that's why it didn't work.
Got it. Okay, there we go.
All right. Anybody else have any questions on that? On everything we've covered so far? All right. Well, then I'm going to log out and log back in. I'll be right back.